Good to go.
Hello, and welcome to a very special edition of Dungeons and Doormats, where we explore the social awkwardness of being too polite in an RPG setting.
The
With me
definition of
today-
sorry.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
No, hello, we're actually playing Dungeons and Dragons. This is session 9? 10 of the Bay Empire game, which we now have a full house. So, the last game, people pretty much spent the time gathering the dragon's horde that you liberated from Jabadak, and promptly spending all of that money.
Oh, yeah.
You guys spent a week back in the Imperial capitals. I didn't actually ask much about what you guys individually did, but I imagine that you went to your employer / back to your court position, did a bit of that, and then said, "Oh, sorry, I'm off. I'm booking another week off."
I gotta say, if we're trying to make ourselves more important in the court, more required, taking so much vacation time is probably not a good way to do it.
I mean, we're all kind of required already. Honestly, I think as long as he doesn't see us, like, I'm gonna have, or Mozgus will have Akane not swoop over the capital as much. Because the less he
effectively, you're
sees
just
of her...
hoping that the Emperor just kind of forgets that he put you on a to murder list.
It's a partial plan.
Yeah.
It could help. Can't hurt. He's like, oh, they must have been murdered. I don't see them around anymore.
Alexander, your aide is effectively taking over the minuta of your job as
That is why I keep him on.
while you go around liberating dragons from hordes. So I do know that for Tiamos, sometime during the week, you kind of found a secluded place outside of the Imperial capital and performed the ritual that turned you into a part dragon.
Yes.
Dragon.
I imagine you've been hiding your appearance with your hat of disguise.
Yes.
Because people are going to start asking questions about why you're extra brassy. Is it a new foundation you're using?
It's because I'm musical.
Yes,
Nice.
and you notice that inexplicably, you are slightly better at performance checks.
Thanks, Cadalatrix.
You're welcome.
Oh, good. Now you can perform.
Sometimes people have issues doing that. Okay. So,
Yeah, no judgment.
now you guys had set your eyes on meeting up with Navaka, the Anvil, the silver dragon who's the pillar of the south, and dealing with the part of the regalia of the Phoenix Queen down there. So, during the week, I'm going to say Tiamos, because now you're much more closer to Cadalatrix. You get a sending from Cadalatrix
Okay.
saying, "Lady Anvil, Navaka, my dear dragon." He's wasting most of his words on just describing Navaka. "We'll meet you in the regional capital of Rezith, Hiksu. Meta-wise, I've put it onto the map. It's the nice little circle.
The purple one.
The purple one. So it stands out against the green. Her ask any of her order that you wish to meet Lady Anvil. And after some questioning, they will likely bring you to. She knows to expect you. Have a nice time in the jungle. Don't die. Signed, Cadalatrix.
What a sweetheart.
You do have 25 words you can send back, but you don't have to.
I thank him for his help. And I'll pass along a message to the rest of my party.
Okay. Because remember, sending's pretty much like the magical version of a telegram.
Yeah.
It's not. You can't really have an active conversation without sending multiple. But you can at least go a received dot. Thank you dot.
Received 2/3, and furthermore.
So you guys now have, because you're about to operate in Navaka's territory, and you ultimately wish to negotiate for one of her scales, you'll likely have to meet her in Hicks Zoo.
Sounds good.
Okay. During your week of preparation,
We're gonna need some spot-on teleports.
I mean, during the week of whatever, can I just scry to where I need to go?
yes, you can actually, you can scry, you learn the name of a person who lives in Ixu, and then you scry them. I will see if they resist your scrying attempt.
It's like a dog or something. Where are the
Oh,
scrying dogs?
And then we just teleport into the guy's house.
No, we just teleport into the guy.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
jeez.
It would be very uncomfortable for him.
Abomination.
Kaboom!
And us.
I mean, yeah.
They fail the will save, because I do believe the DC of your scrying save is higher than 20. So you see a bored-looking guard just kind of standing on a street corner. Let's see, scrying. Is you do have scrying. So I should figure out exactly what you'd see. So I can you observe a creature from any distance.
That's handy.
I'm going to say that with a you can see the subject and its surrounding at approximately 10 feet in any directions. The subject moves, you can follow up to a certain speed. This guy's not going the max speed of your sensor. You can also cast divination spells through the scry. Like detect chaos, evil, good, magic, and message. So you
Ooh.
can actually literally go whisper, whisper into someone's ear. Scry. Just
So it was always witches doing that to people.
Yeah. Or schizophrenics. Now, you look at this guard and you see him like he's doing a patrol. I assume you're scrying at night, or we'll just assume, unless you tell me otherwise.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's loud.
I don't know. The stream's
is
gonna
that?
get a copyright takedown.
Oh no.
That was
Oh,
Lauren.
That's the
sorry, I
Lauren's
didn't know it could
phone,
come
I'm
through.
guessing.
You see this guard walk right by a tavern, and someone gets thrown through the window of the tavern. they land at the guard's feet, pick themselves up. They're covered in, like, I guess more hides and whatnot. Do a primal scream and jump back through the window they were thrown out. The guard looks up at the sign, and it's the Hunting Hoax is the tavern's name.
Okay.
You can follow the guard. You can effectively scry the guard for up to 10 minutes, and just get a layout of places you could teleport to.
Sure.
Okay, so your scry, you effectively just watch him do a rather boring patrol. He occasionally stops with someone and talks a bit, just general, like, oh, the weather's been nice. How are your kids? Kind of office talk. And then you overhear something a bit interesting. You hear them going, one says, have you heard of the problems Fortune favored have been causing Sotex seekers? And the guard says, yeah, I've had to try to get in between them, but I really don't want to get in between two groups of adventurers. Just, it's not good for my health. All of them are just so buff.
Wait, so what is he saying again?
To summarize, there's been some problems between the Fortune's favored and Sotex seekers. They appear to be two different groups of adventurers. And then
Why did those adventures have cool names? We got to think of a group name.
Yeah, you guys haven't thought of a group
Do
name.
we
Rat
want
Queens!
one? Oh, I need to read that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that we.
Rat
want one.
Queens is so
We
good.
gotta
Rat
have it, you know.
Queens!
Yes.
God damn
New
it.
volume comes out this month.
But the guards kind of commiserate for a minute or two, and then one of them just shrugs and says, "At least it isn't that college of pyrotechnics. There's a fire every week whenever they're around." And the guy said, "Well, luckily I'm not part of the fire, so I don't need that. Two guards kind of hard." And you eventually get your consciousness finds its way back into your body, back in your warehouse, not warehouse, workshop in the Imperial.
I thought you were calling her body a warehouse. I'm like, what?
Her body is a warehouse. No, that's a very terrible rendition of her body. Okay, so I'm going to say in the week, I'm going to allow anyone who looked into it a knowledge history check or knowledge nobility check to know what's what in the jungles of Riza, to know the general political situation.
Yeah.
Knowledge, nobility, or history?
Yep, whatever one you want.
Knowledge nobility.
See if the prince did his homework or not. The prince didn't do his homework at all.
No, the prince was just enjoying
He doesn't believe in homework.
the feeling of having money and then it all disappeared.
Yes. Also
I didn't
going
buy
through
anything with my money, by the way.
Okay. Well, during the trip, if you want to say you crafted something in that week, we can, as long as it's not too egregious. Like, oh, I'm gonna craft the exact solution to the problem in front of us. I'll allow it. So.
Okay.
I
might not do it this time. I might just save my money.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
fine.
There
And
are
make something
plenty of
super awesome.
There are plenty of high-level, super awesome items that would require a lot of gold. So, TMOs and Chelsea. Tiamos and Laura.
Yes.
Both of you know. Actually, if you look in your journal tab, you'll see Hiksu, Rizuth groups.
Cat.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, Alexandra, you're too focused on getting caught up with your work to do much research into Rizuth.
Story of my life.
So you effectively laying out that there's 3 regional powers in Rizuth. There's the Bay Empire, of course, which is your empire, which kind of came in several hundred years ago and just took all the major trade centers, points, and ports and cities and kind of called it a day. Because conquering too deep into the jungle took too much effort.
The coast.
Grilla, which are, I guess, goblinoids, but they're primarily spider monkey goblins. They're goblins with green fur, tails, and crazy jumping / climbing skills. And the NASA, who are a caste-based serpent reptile people. With your Laura, with your 32, you know that there currently is a bit of a power struggle in Rizuth due to the fact that the governor has recently been executed on charges of treason by the Emperor.
Mm.
But this was kept very hush-hush, and most people, even in the jungle in Rizuth, don't know that their governor has been murdered, mainly because the governor didn't do that much. So the bureaucracy is kind of just working under the assumption that the governor's last orders are still in effect. So, but there's growing concern that soon enough the jungles are going to have a power struggle over who gets to be the governor or the region's magistrate or whatever position of power would be over the provincial.
Was this guy on the list to die, like us?
This guy was on the list.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Assassino.
Also, with your basic knowledge checks, you do see different general mercenary groups, the 4 that I've put, also in the note. So we have Fortune's Favored, which they're effectively Indiana Jones archaeologists. They take jobs, clear monsters, make new maps.
Question.
Mhm.
Before we set off, can I make us like some poison venom bug spray potions?
Yeah, totally.
'Cause I have
So antitoxin, which just gives like everyone a +5 alchemical bonus against poison for an hour, costs 50 gold, or 50 divided by.
50 each?
Yeah, but it's divided by 3 if you're crafting, so 16.6 gold.
Okay.
And effectively, I would allow you to do them in batches. So roll a craft alchemy for your antitoxin batch, and I'm going to assume a +5 from Crafter's Fortune. So yep, you create. Everyone now has an antitoxin dose. Effectively, if you get poisoned or you're about to get poisoned, You can drink it, and for an hour, it'll give a big bonus against.
How does that work in combat?
It's a standard action to
Okay.
effectively. It's
So
like
that-
a potion.
So, do you want me to round up to 17 or?
You can round up to 17, or just do like 16.5 times.
It's fine.
6. Oh, it's like 100 gold.
Yeah.
And then the vermin repellent, I would have you roll craft alchemy for that as well. Fantastic. You, how many doses of the vermin repellent do you want? It lasts for
One
4
f-
hours a dose.
One for each of us.
Okay, 1 for each. So that is 5.
Yeah, aren't these
6.
like 2 gold a pop?
They're
That's it?
they're 1.6.
Oh,
Yeah, you
well,
can make a bunch of those.
in that case, let's make 3 each.
Okay, times 18. It's 30 gold
Oh no.
Total?
Okay.
total for 3 doses each.
Let's make sure we
Yeah.
split the bill on that. I don't want.
So it's like 130 total
130.
for everything that I just made.
Yes. Alchemy is cheap compared to your general magical solutions.
Oh, where do I put that in my sheet?
It would likely be under the items. Like
Oh.
there's usually there might still be a place on your sheet that has like alchemist fire and stuff like that. On the equipment tab. Welcome back, Alexandra.
Yeah, alchemical medicines and drugs.
So, everyone, just as a message to all, you have 3 anti-vermin repellent, which 1 dose lasts for 4 hours, and 1 antitoxin, plus 5 against a person's poison for 1 hour. So everyone has that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Yep.
you.
Yay. Thanks.
No problem.
And this is actually something you're familiar, who actually gets all the same crafting ranks as you do, can also help. So effectively, you and your holy cat just mix up some.
Oh, before we leave, I also want to do like a proper introduction to everyone with Fane,
Ah,
because I'm gonna bring him with me.
well, you've been bringing him with you, but I guess you haven't let the cat out of the bag.
I haven't let the cat out of my dress. Yeah.
So I guess before you guys leave, I assume all of you just wander out of the city, different exits, not grouped up together, so then you can just teleport out once you're out of the confines of the city.
Sure.
Although when you actually do a you guys consult a map, Alexandra actually has access to the government's military maps, so she can actually look at exactly how far something is. It's around 1,200 miles
Ah,
from the imperial capital to Hixu. So that's actually 2 days of flying out on the bird and then teleporting if you want to go straight.
you know,
Hicks.
every time you say Hicks Zoo, I think you're saying Hicks Zoo.
It's a lot of
Yep.
them.
Or it's just a zoo for Hicks. I don't know.
You know what?
Hmm.
No, I'm not changing the name of that. You can hear that all you want.
No, it's fine. I'm not trying to criticize. I'm just think it's just funny. I mishear things all the time, like propaganda is useless and stuff like that.
Oh, but so I guess are you guys going to fly? Are you gonna use 2 teleports, or are you going to?
Wait, I can only prepare 1 teleport
Why is that?
because I only can have 2 spells a day. There's another spell I want.
Well, I mean, if we're just doing a travel day, you could just let it go. You know, let it go.
Oh, okay, okay.
Just let it go.
Yeah, I know. We get it. You're hilarious. You haven't made that joke before.
Nope.
I mean, it's not like I have
She's fucking Elsa.
the violin music soundtrack for that.
Wait, why the hell do I have ice spears in 2 different places?
Oh, maybe one of them is enhanced with the rhyme spell meta magic.
No, one is in 4th level spells and one is in 3rd level spells.
Yeah, well, you get it as a 3rd level spell due to stuff.
Well, then do I remove it out of the 4th level?
You could, I guess, replace the 4th level ice spears with another 4th level spell. It'll give you something to do. Well,
Crushing Despair?
crushing despair.
What does Divination do?
Divination is actually quite fun. It also would work with the fact that your character is able to look past, spy on people from a distance. Divination is effectively where you get a useful piece of advice and reply to a question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 1 week. It can
Actually-
be
This Infernal Healing looks better.
infernal healing. It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna do that.
Unfortunately, you have to get devil's blood to actually use it.
God damn it.
So that could just be you summon devils and you just bleed them.
Seems
I'm
mean.
sorry, I need your blood.
You do Charm Monster. What if I had Charmed the Scorpion?
Yeah?
And we just use that to fight Jack. I'm gonna do that. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Oh. Didn't close that. But we're good. So, you guys go a little bit ways out of the Imperial capital, go into a nice little hidden forested valley. Something where you aren't going to be seen by many people. And vroom, you teleport. Some part of the problem with teleport is that I need to always ask Chelsea, where has your character been? Because if you viewed a place in between, I don't know if you've been very much in between the Imperial capital and Zoo.
No, I've been mostly in Cran.
Yeah,
But the
Cran
Scrying
in the
doesn't.
northern area. So I'm going to say that you pretty much you looked at the map and you picked somewhere like 600 miles southwest, or actually just south, pure south. Yeah. And I'm gonna roll to see if you're on target.
The Scrying didn't help at all?
Oh no, because you first have to jump somewhere, and then you're going to have to jump from there.
Well, she'd
to
have time to
exit.
scry for little villages, wouldn't she?
Oh yeah, you could actually
to avoid
effectively get a
shenanigans.
name. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna see if there was another villager that could resist your scrying spell. You do find a small village in between the imperial capital. I'm just going to call this, nice little flesh colored thing, like pink. Then I'm gonna do this is called Jump Point Village because that's what you're using it for. So you viewed it. You've seen casually studied here. Seen casually, okay. And you're on, and you jump, and you're on target. You guys appear pretty much just off the main road outside of the town. There's a guard. There's like 2 guards at the just outside the main point. Two young guys with kind of ill-fitting armor and spears that just jump when they just see 6 people materialize out of nowhere with a pop.
I wave at them and like smile.
And one go and one just points at the group, and the other points at him. It's like, "Am I drinking?" The other
You're
said,
echoing.
Oh, we're
I'm
yeah.
echoing.
Oh no.
Oh, Lauren.
Oh, Lauren.
I'm not echoing. I'm a
Okay.
vampire.
Echo. Hello.
"Okay." Yep.
Yep,
No
yep,
worries.
we're good.
So the guard just sort of like looks and said, "I never knew there could be such a beautiful mirage." As he
Oh my god.
look at your group. You have at least 3 people who have 26 charisma, or like more than 22 charisma. And then you
I
also
say, are you talking about me or him? And I just like jab a thumb at the prince.
that's a him. One of them said.
Let's be honest. With 26 charisma, it doesn't matter anymore.
I would like to point out that let's see, Pathfinder succubus.
Is this when we
Succubi
find
have
out?
27 charisma. So
Wow, there's
What's the prince at? Like 30?
26 only.
Oh.
I'm only at 26 so far, but
Oh.
you know.
there's upward growth potential.
You're not inspiring entire nations with your beauty yet. Come on.
Not yet.
He doesn't have a face that can launch 1,000 ships yet.
I'm at like 800 millihelens. I'm at like, you know, I could probably launch like 40 ships at least.
So the guard just are you gonna wait around, or are you just gonna disappear again?
We'll just disappear after I ask that question and he responds.
And then you sort of mutter a few words, wave your hands, and whoop. What do you prefer, the transporter sound?
I was sort of imagining more of a magical tinkling,
Ah, okay.
Like
like some
suppose.
chimes.
Are you saying it'd go like doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo?
No, not like not like a whatever
No,
70s Twilight
It's
song.
Ian's scene transition noise is the teleport noise as well.
Oh, sure, okay.
Is
Hearing
that-
wind.
Oh,
Just
I
sounded
didn't-
like wind and then a old thud.
Nah.
okay. If that ain't working, it ain't working. I just found a teleport.
I gotta increase my volume. Didn't hear it.
No, it was insufficient. So I have to try harder.
Quick, now that his volume is up, play Fire at the Disco. Or wait. High Voltage, that's the one.
Okay. I vote. No, I don't want to get Snake struck.
You don't want someone to beat me, thank you. I appreciate it.
Ah.
At some
Oh,
point during all
Lord
this,
of
the
Light.
prince is asking Lilara for some help because his magic item, the glove, doesn't seem to want to store the kunai. He's like, this
What?
doesn't seem to work. The magic
What?
item I got from the treasure trove last.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh, right.
So roll a spellcraft check to figure out the command word.
Okay.
So we got some loot, and mine is a glove that holds things. A singular
And it's
glove.
actually a pretty kick-ass glove. I will let you know.
But right now, it doesn't seem to be working. We identified what it was, but
Okay, fine.
it doesn't seem to do anything. It just seems to be very fashionable, well made. Quite
Okay,
simple.
hold on.
Most people don't complain when they get fashionable stuff.
What am I doing? Okay, spellcrafting. It's like, yeah, that's what I thought it was. I'm starting to remember.
Remember? 'Cause I remember
Only over 30s with you today.
December.
Hmm?
Uh,
Oh yeah.
you study the magic item, and you figure out, kind of like a system admin going through the most common passwords. You try your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You try your password, and about like 20 guesses in, 20 educated guesses in, something pops out of the.
Ooh.
Ah.
And so what you find is a, you find a heavy mace thumps out onto the ground. Seems to be made of a strange shimmering, like a steel kind of metal. I would have people roll either spellcraft or, I guess, blacksmithing, if you have it, to figure out what it is. Chelsea, it's adamantine.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And it is a. Looking at it, you're pretty sure that this is a lesser mace of smiting. So it's a +1 heavy adamantine heavy mace that is better against constructs.
Hmm.
And when he successfully does a critical hit against a construct, it's ×4 damage instead of ×2. And to an outsider, it's ×3 damage instead of ×2.
So, Lilara, I can't fucking name. God damn it.
You're the one who knows this.
Well, Lilara looks at the mace and then back to hoo-ha.
Back to his hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha!
Back to
Ruha's hoo-ha.
So, and she
Reporting
asks
in
him,
for duty.
I know the prince is quite a looker, but can you wield an adamantine mace?
He looks very confident, grabs it, and then immediately like bends his arm to the side. Like, no.
Well, good thing you have this glove. Does the glove sort of act like a bag of holding, but
Yeah, but
It's
only
basically-
for one item, for one one-handed item. But it's an instant action to retrieve. So
So
it's
I
kind of
could-
like anime hammer space.
we should sell that though, meta-wise, if we can.
What, the glove? Oh,
No,
the-
not the
the
glove.
The
mace. Yeah.
mace.
Yeah, I don't have a use for it, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't got a use for it.
You guys didn't check that. that
I
had something
didn't.
in it.
We got our loot and the session ended. So
Yeah, I didn't think of it at the time. It would be unfair of me to think I'd thought of it. And pretended I knew back then.
So it's the I'm posting.
We are
it
still in a town. We could probably.
here. It's the
Oh my
lesser
God,
mace of
let's-
smiting.
We could put it on the bird for now. We might come
Oh.
against a construct, so.
Wait a minute. No, we're gonna talk to a dragon in a minute. They're gonna ask for something. And it's gonna be. Just give them the freaking mace.
Also, I would like to point out that adamantine has a cool thing where bypass. So objects have hardness, which makes it harder to hurt it. But an adamantine thing ignores hardness for anything less than adamantine.
So basically, you could
So
punch your
it's-
way through a mountain with adamantine.
Yeah, eventually.
Holy shit! It's worth like 16,000 gold too.
So half that's
Yeah.
what we'll get for it.
We should sell it, but yeah, we'll add it to our list of things we could give to the dragon because we don't have mammoth meat this time because we actually got the teleport right today. Good job. Woo.
Okay, you guys are gonna do your second teleport.
Yes.
Oh, that would have been, I guess, before jumping that interaction. So, or
Okay, so
it seems odd to
back in
just stop in the
Imperial-
middle of
back
the
near
village.
the
Be like,
imperial capital. You're like, huh? I should learn how this one-handed glove I'm wearing works. And then jump point
know.
village to Hicks Zoo. Let's roll.
I like zoos.
Let's roll again. Where did he want to jump at a random part of the street, the tavern, or like the guard post that you scried?
Can we do like beside the tavern? Like,
Oh yeah, there's like an alleyway beside the tavern.
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Try to be inconspicuous a little bit.
You teleport beside the tavern. I assume you guys started at this like early in the day, or maybe you did this late at night so that your dear witch could then rest to get back her spells.
that makes sense.
So, actually, you guys teleport next to a man who's puking.
Lovely.
Holy shit, he looks. I must have been drinking more than I thought. Just continues to puke. And then his equally drunk friend, who's not puking beside him, goes, "No, you dipshit, they teleported here. Evidently, they're fucking important." Yeah. He starts puking.
Wow. What a town.
What a welcome party.
You notice that they're wearing these guys aren't wearing hides. They're just kind of wearing like studded leather. Do you ignore the puking men and continue on?
I try my best to ignore them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Disgusting.
Question: is it illegal to puke in the streets?
You don't actually know the laws of Hikzu.
Damn.
But you do know that it's probably, if they were causing too much of a disturbance, there's probably some sort of thing for, like, you're disturbing the peace, citizen. Kind of making them.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I guess you guys step out of the alleyway back into the street. It seems like the town is just starting to get rowdy. The tavern beside you is bustling. You see people of all races, genders, stripes, sometimes literal, drinking in the tavern. It seems like it's an adventurer's bar.
Oh.
Ooh.
And so, all of you, from your early days when you were but a small adventure. You are but mini adventurers. You know that these bars tend to get a little more rowdy, but they also, if a fight ever breaks out, it's ended very quickly.
The prince
Because
literally runs a bar just like
effectively
this.
everyone in there is some degree of rich and deadly, as adventurers tend to be.
The prince doesn't have an adventuring backstory, but he literally owns a bar that's just like this. Well, not themed this way, but
Come here and punch each other
yeah.
and drink.
No, his bar is all really, really hot and dry inside, like it's the desert, and that way the drinks are way more appealing.
It's like a
He
sauna.
also serves proper, authentic Ruhaian cuisine and drinks. And sometimes they aren't even proper, but they'll never
No, they're rarely properly, because those are, yeah.
state secrets. So, you managed to go. Do you want to go into the adventure bar and get some gossip, or do you want to just find an inn somewhere, rest, and find the anvil, the Lady Anvil in the morning?
We could gather some information now.
Oh, before we go in, I did overhear that the two of these adventuring groups. Wait, no mercenaries?
Adventuring guilds and mercenaries are interchangeable
Oh, okay.
in this.
Are having somewhat of a feud. Fortune's favored and Sotek's seekers. So keep that in mind.
Is there anything
Okay.
we should know about them?
There's nothing that I know that you don't, other than that specific fact. Other than the fact that they're feuding.
This might be part of the information gather.
Well, as long as we don't bother them, they shouldn't bother us. We're not here to settle the peace, after all. Not today, anyway.
There is some tavern.
That is
The
tavern.
bards don't seem to be too drunk.
They're okay.
Then it is young.
They're okay. The night is young. They need to at least get some money before they can spend it on drinks. As you enter into the bar, unless you guys are gonna start a fight, I really don't want to draw it out.
We'll see.
There's at least 20 different tables on the ground floor, and it's actually a two-story. It's a two-story bar. In the center seems to be a raised stage so that people on the second floor and the first floor can see the bards who are performing. All around, the first floor has about 20 small tables, and the upper floor seems to have a similar amount. There seems to be a bar on both floors, and the bar seems to consist of one server, or like one barkeep, and some kind of weird cake contraption behind them. It seems like the cake can pretty much every 6 seconds it's pouring out some kind of alcohol, but it seems like the color, the foaminess, and what it pours out changes at almost with just a few mutters and like pokes from the barkeep. Anyone who wants to can roll spellcraft.
Me.
Jeez.
You look at that and instantly you know, that's the it's a version of the endless keg. It's actually an ingenious trap, quote unquote, that has been used to create nearly infinite booze in any kind of. It's mostly popular in adventure establishments because the gold investment to actually make a magic item to create infinite booze is a bit beyond most most like lower end barkeeps, and the higher end people want to just have like real quote unquote alcohol. But that is a keg that can change, that produces a bunch of alcohol every round and can change its flavor.
Okay. I just say, what a treat. Rub my hands together.
Do you guys find a table? Do you guys approach the barkeep? The barkeep is an excitable, orange-skinned lizard man.
Oompa loompa. Never mind.
Mhm.
Yeah, the lizard man kind of.
I mean, he could be a D&D version of one.
That's true.
Does he have green eyes?
Is he small?
I'm gonna say is green. He has a green feather hat.
Okay.
Perfect. Does he have like purple?
He has purple
Pants?
clothing, yeah, too.
Okay, cool.
As he sees you and sort of just kind of looks at you to see if you're coming by, and if you don't, he just goes to the next person.
Suppose we
I
can-
look around to see if there's any members of the Order of the Anvil in the tavern.
You see at one of the corners away from everyone else, you see a bunch of people in. Well, it seems like they're. You see anvils as part of the designs of the heraldry on their armor.
Hmm.
They seem to be drinking in a corner. There's about 4 of them. All of them are in heavy armor.
Lilara, fucking hell. Lilara goes off. She just sort of wanders towards the barkeeper to go get something.
Okay.
To get,
As you approach the
inspect
barkeep,
the thingy.
as you approach, says, you look like you have a discerning eye. What can the ever full, the endless keg produce for you today?
Ian, help me out here. Is there like some like cool drink, like girly fruity drink in D&D?
Oh yeah, you can totally do like a fruity drink.
Yeah. Okay.
Boom,
Just,
you ask for a fruity drink, and he says, "Oh, I don't get that one much before. Let me punch that in." And he kind of taps and just pours out effectively a pint of it into a glass and sets it down and says, "Here's your drink, ma'am. That'll be 1 silver."
oh god. I have
That-
gold. How does that convert?
1 to 10 to 1.
10
right?
silver into 1 gold. He's effectively, if gold is $1, he's asking for a dime.
So I have
You have an
0.9?
unimaginable amount. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to say that
okay.
if the expense is below 1 silver, don't track it.
Oh, okay.
If the expense is below gold, don't track it.
It's so small to us. If we were level 1, we'd be like, oh my god, every copper.
Okay.
Coppers are pennies in this analogy.
Okay.
Unless you're like saying, "Hey, Ian, that's only 1 silver. I buy 10,000 of it." I'm like, "Okay, now we have to worry about it."
Okay. So I thank him and I join up with the group wherever they are.
Yep. Are you guys gonna go to the Anvil's corner? Or are you going to? There's you see one drinking contest between what appears to be a half orc, a serpent person, like they have like a serpent as their part of their lower body,
Oh, can I
And-
join
Naga.
that?
and a
Yeah, that
And
hurts
a
at
dwarf.
1T.
Can I use
Can I join
prestidigitation?
that? I want to.
oh yeah, you can totally like
Can I use
You
that to
don't-
remove the alcohol content of something? with prestidigitation? Can I do that?
No, that would actually be negate poison.
Dang.
Because alcohols are poison.
Can I like remove it from
Technically,
the
your
glass?
antitoxin could help you with the drinking cup.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my god.
Responsible
you
use.
dash down your antitoxin, and then you show up like the
Yeah.
the
No, I
they
just pour
turn-
it into my drink.
Yeah.
I just spike my drink with it, and I just sit down, say room for one more, and I slam my. drink.
The dwarf, who in a surprisingly light voice goes, "Sure,"
Okay.
and the
I'm basically fucking off from you guys.
and the
So I don't have an antitoxin anymore. That's great.
You can make more.
I can. Well, yeah, I can.
Yeah, you don't need to. You have basic equipment with you. Assume.
I mean,
Okay, I'll make more.
you say that you don't have one anymore, but you haven't distributed them yet. It's like, oh wait, I totally forgot
No,
Matt
I
was
did.
in the
Yeah,
party.
she did. She did.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Call me shit.
I guess that won't. I guess that won't fly now. You can't be like, oh dang, I miscounted. Can I have that one back?
they invite you into the contest. Currently, it is the dwarf and the half orc drinking. The snake person is currently being the referee, but the snake person can be your opponent after.
Okay. So I say, all right, lads. What's the stakes?
The
What's for
the
wins, I
current
guess,
stake
we'll say.
between the orc and the dwarf is a night in a fancy hotel.
Oh, that's it.
But
We're not doing gold here. What sort of adventurers are you?
one turns to you and says, "Do you know how much gold that's worth?" Like probably like at least 50.
Psh.
It's a full service hotel.
Why
and then
do
the
why
other-
do adventurers care about hotels? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't
Yeah.
like
As you actually as you say that, the dwarf says, "Well, we have to wait for. We're all waiting for the big deployment. I assume. Which company have you signed up with?"
I haven't decided yet.
Oh, bit dang. You should choose soon. We're about to
Well-
go out and.
What company are you with? Maybe you can convince me.
Well, he points toward the dwarf points towards the orc and says, "This fucker is part of Fortune's Favored, and I am part of the Imperial College of Pyrotechnics."
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
This could not end well.
You are opposite. We are opposites, sir. Doesn't mean we can't like one another, get along professionally, and whatnot.
And
I drink.
he says, and that serpent person, and who just seems not to be nonplussed about the fact that its name has been forgotten, says, "That's part of Sotek's Seekers, and we're trying to see who can drink the other one down. We tried to invite some of those the Anvilites over here, but they were having nothing. They just want to drink by their lonesome."
They have some sticks up their arse, don't they?
Oh yeah, and not even a pleasurable kind, eh?
No.
So, when you say, "What is this?" Like, they start raising the stakes. They throw down like 50 more gold. A person puts
I'll throw down 100 gold.
You just boom.
Damn.
Fucking.
And the Yuntai.
I'm
the
gambling. I'm
serpent
getting you guys.
They're gonna find you the fuck out.
I don't fucking care.
The Yuntai puts down a map. Says, "This is a map to a hidden valley."
Oh.
Wait,
So-
the Hidden Valley. Musgus would probably
to El
watch
Dorado.
her if no one else is doing anything interesting. Is that the
I've
hidden?
kind of like snuck off to a quiet corner to lurk and watch.
So while we're raising the stakes here, I ask the dwarf about the deployment, just what the plans are,
Oh,
what he thinks of it. Not trying to be.
it's gonna be crazy. They're calling in a bunch of out-of-town adventurers to come in. The tribals are up to something. No offense, he says to the serpent person at the table.
Whoa.
And the serpent person at the table goes, "My brethren are often locked in their ways. I'm here because I'm not." The dwarf kind of shrugs and says, "Fine, but the gorilla and the Nessa both are about to have a war. And it is he points towards them and all the adventurers. It's our duty to keep it away from the Bay Empire and to make some gold," as he says, and the rest of the party goes, "Gold!"
Here.
And
Wink.
everyone takes a drink.
Role play.
Yeah. The
And,
prince walks up to the guy, pats him on the shoulder, and says, "Good luck," and he casts Pugwampy's Grace.
What guy?
The drinking opponent.
You're an asshole.
I know.
She's
Well,
only
Lar-
allowed to cheat. Only her.
Lalara
He rolls a
glares
will
at
save.
you.
Oh, he might actually make it. That's Pugwampy's Grace is save 22. But he doesn't know I'm
But
casting.
he's unaware that
Yep.
you're a bad guy. So it's +1 to the DC.
Awesome. He just barely doesn't make it. Now he needs to roll twice every
So
time.
What's that spell do?
Anytime they would roll a d20, so for their attacks, their saves, their seal checks,
Mhm.
they roll 2 and take the lower result.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The dwarf and the orc just start drinking. And so does the Yunti, and you're expected to start drinking too, Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I've been drinking. Let's go.
What is your character's constitution score?
Mine?
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I should have looked at this before I did something.
Maybe.
14?
That's pretty good.
You
Oh,
can drink
no, it's
2
not.
drinks within an hour
That's it?
and not have to start making saves. And then every drink thereafter, you have to start making saves.
Wait, even with my anti whatever?
No, that will just make your saves like real good.
Oh. Because it's the +5?
Because it's +5 on top of whatever you have.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm going to say the Yunti and you both of you have done your first 2 drinks. A third is brought. The bartender seems to just create a whole bunch of drinks in anticipation. And a crowd starts forming because they don't usually see like an Aasimar start trying to drink down a lizard person. So Chelsea, roll a fort save.
A what?
Fortitude save.
Okay. Do I
Whatever
do
your normal
pluses?
fortitude save is, add 5 to it. So are you?
Wait,
so
hold on a
Frosty,
second.
did you roll punk? You cast Pugwampy's Grace
Mhm.
on only the dwarf?
On the whoever her opponent is right now.
Okay, so the serpent.
Yes.
Oh my God, Chelsea!
Oh no.
Oh no.
The stakes are high! Hey, I'm just a good time girl. Fuck you.
Oh, no, that is the wrong bonus.
So he gets
So,
the.
Chelsea, you're now on the first stage of inebriation. There's 3
Yeah.
So is that the other guy's save?
Yeah,
Those two. So instead of getting a 34, he got a 21.
yeah.
Yay, magic.
So, another drink happens. Again. Chelsea, roll.
Okay.
Wow.
You're on the 4th drink. Your opponent gets into the first stage of inebriation.
Does the DC rise with each?
Yep.
So eventually.
So, Chelsea, on the 5th drink. Okay, a 20. That's. Yeah. Serpent people are actually more naturally resistant to poison.
Did you want me to roll?
Yep, please.
Yeah, getting better.
Okay. Again, Chelsea. Oh! Your opponent goes into the next stage of inebriation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Frosty's a cheating bitch.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Oh, like
I
she
drink
isn't?
over to Ruha.
She's cheating too.
And Chelsea, one more time. Chelsea, you go into the second stage, but your opponent falls down.
I like get up sort of like wobbly and I just do like a bow.
The bar does some clapping.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you get all your gold back, plus
Yeah.
an additional 50 and Hidden Valley map.
Yeah.
Which is probably not. Is that the same Hidden Valley as the one we went to?
No,
Oh.
it's in the jungles of Reason.
Ah, I see.
Is there a hidden valley in all of the areas?
Well, there's a fuckload of valleys. There's probably something hidden everywhere.
Hidden Valley number 39.
Wait, do I still get the hotel?
That was actually the other 2 people.
Oh, okay.
That was their contest that you insulted, and then you started throwing down money, and your opponent had to throw down even more.
So I got the Hidden Valley map?
Yep.
Okay, so I say, oh, thank you for this wonderful evening, and then I like stumble over to Mozgus and be like, here, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. And I just like kind of like throw the map on his chest.
Mozgus lets the map fall to the floor and just stares at you.
Oh, you're just too serious.
Wait for it.
I'm just imagining, like, you guys are so powerful in the court, and here you're like, you take this map, I won a drinking contest! And everyone else in the party kind of... that the ninja has already vanished off into a corner.
Mozgus
And Mozgus-
continues to stare at you.
Knowing the prince is a wizard, you know exactly
Wait,
what
why
just
is...
happened. Or a sorcerer.
You actually might not know, but you think you think the Prince Ruha might have interfered with the contest.
Me?
Mozgus stares at
Yeah.
Oh, and I go...
That's a two best friends joke.
And Ruha, you bastard!
Who, me?
Of course! You 6-legged monkey? She like twirls her hair.
So, actually, at one point, you guys are making enough of a ruckus that people are noticing. And one of the Anvilites, one of the Order of the Anvil, comes over to your group and says, "Wait, he points to, is the bard Tiamos with you?"
He is?
Yes.
Is he with you? He is with all of us, really. What can I say?
He is everyone.
We
And
are
he is
all
in-
TMOs.
And he
on
is,
this-
he is in everyone, too. Just ask your mother.
The animal person doesn't look particularly pleased with the fact that you made this into a your mama joke. But
I tell him to ignore my drunk friend.
You could call it drunk you.
done.
Boring.
the envelope. A young man, a young human, still dressed in like full plate. Says, we've been sent throughout the city to look out for you. We are told that in the morning you should report to, and he gives he says, the temple of the forge, and you will be seen by the lake.
Thank you, good sir.
He goes back to his friends. They all finish their drink and then they leave the bar. Evidently, their duty was they were sent to the places adventurers would visit.
And Lilara, when you say thank you, good sir, she like goes, "You're so sly."
The envelope
She's
ignore.
trying to say you're gay, but whatever.
Hey,
And
no
she's just
judging.
jealous that you look more beautiful.
Does he?
I have an
Yeah,
18
I think-
charisma.
Oh, you only have 18? I
Yeah,
thought you had a lot more.
He's focused almost everything into strength.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's just
I
really
have
buff.
18 too. So we're both
You're average. I would.
our average.
Yeah, you
Say
know,
average.
regular people without the use of magic.
Say a 6
We're-
out of
Be
10.
this pretty.
We're both Scarlett Johansson level beautiful.
Yeah,
Who's that?
I actually gotta look that up. Johansson.
Jesus Christ. No one watches movies.
Oh,
Black Widow.
okay.
The most useless
Wait,
Avenger.
she's black?
My God, Chelsea. Have you been drinking in real life too, or what?
I was
Yeah.
just about to ask that actually.
No. Maybe.
Oh, Lauren,
Yeah,
what has Shakti been doing in the middle of all this?
drinking quietly.
Okay. So, Shakti, the most confident and smuggest looking halfling comes up to your table. He goes, "Hey, beautiful. Want a drink?" He smiles.
She kind of like runs her hand through her hair and says, "Thank you, but I already have my fill here," and like hold up like my glass.
He's like, "Oh, don't be like that, baby. I know you could use some half-sized power."
I
God.
Shakti kisses him on the cheek and says, "Like, I save all my power for the battlefield."
Ooh. And you see a bunch of his like halfling and gnome friends, like one kobold friend, go, "Oh!" as he just gets shut down. Eventually, you guys hear a crash on the upper level, and a rat folk guy gets thrown off the upper level onto the stage with the bards. The music stops in a crash. And the rat folk guy goes, "You wouldn't do that if I had my golems here." He shakes his fist at the upper level, and then you see a monkey goblin with a bunch of his monkey goblin friends go stare down and says, "Without your golems, you're a pile of shit. With your golems, you just happen to be a pile of shit with golems." And he just and the rat goes, "No one says that to Ni Bao," and gets away with it. And and the monkey goblin said, "I just did. Get out of here!" And just throws down like what is evidently like a bowl of food. The rat guy dodges it and starts scurrying out. He then says, "Bow Bow, get over here!" And you see like a dog jump from the upper level, gracefully land, and then just run after it.
It's a wizard, Harry.
Okay. Are you going to gather much more information, or just enjoy your night at the tavern?
Someone ask why the favored people and the seekers people don't like each other. I'm too drunk. Ruha, you're not doing anything.
White girl
guess not.
wasted.
Lara, you're too drunk. Get out of here.
I'm white girl wasted.
So whoever won that argument over the hotel room, what's
yeah,
their take on it? I gotta hear from them.
It's the orc that won because the dwarf was getting distracted by everything.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
That's what it's all about.
Oh no, the pyromaniac guy woke up.
So the pyromaniac guy is drunk, passed out on the floor. The fortune favors guy, the orc, smiles and says, "You see, the seekers just want to stop everyone from, I guess, making their fortune here. They just want to separate the empire and the tribal regions and try to keep a barrier between, but fortune favored, we're gonna go where we want. Especially because there's so many Monska ruins here. It would be a crime to let all those relics just sit in some dusty, forgotten temple."
For mercenaries, your group seem to have a lot of opinions.
Oh yeah, well, we're adventurers for the most part. We just happen to be collections of adventurers. And whenever there's adventurers, you're going to have a lot of different opinions. Because all of us are supposed to be good at what we do.
Another opinion.
Oh yeah, but ultimately we seek our paychecks. And the seekers find their money usually in pillaging, raiding. They call it defending, we call it pillaging. And then they would call what we do, which is recovery, as in raiding. Well, we have some pretty big disagreements about the definition of raiding.
So you're gonna have a big fight or what?
What, the College of Pyrotechnic? Hell no, I want this part to stay standing.
No, you and the other guy, or your groups. Are you going to war or anything, or is it just gonna be a?
Well, we're gonna have a few skirmishes here and there. We're all professionals.
Oh, of course.
Though if the tribals are acting up, we'll all be working together to prevent slaughter on both sides. We kind of
Yeah.
like the status quo. We
All
just
right.
don't want the tribals interfering with us going into the temples. The Seekers don't want the tribals, the Empire, interfering with the tribals too much. Because that just causes, like, guerrilla warfare. And, all of us just want to make money. He shrugs.
Fair enough. Okay, that's my recon. They're just sort of.
They're
Just
just
sort of fighting.
mercenaries.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Yep. All right.
Alright,
I think.
let's
Are we
go
ready to
rest.
leave the?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys rest. You got, as you get back to the, I guess you guys go to an inn. you rent a few rooms. I don't know if any of you will actually stay in like the same rooms as each other, or if all of you are independent, wealthy people and like, no, I'm buying my own room for myself. Fuck it.
Well, Lara would probably want to be like, I'm gonna settle one with you, Ruha, and then just like pass out somewhere.
Okay.
Ruha, you notice that on the Lara passes out near her room. Like you see some mist come out from under her dress, form
So
into
what?
a cat,
Oh, okay, missed.
and
Okay.
then start dragging her into the room.
My cat can do that.
Yeah, Silveranchis have strength surge. They can get like normal human strength.
Well, hello.
For
And who are you?
minutes. The cat looks at you, goes,
Fane.
"Fine. Yeah, I'll let you talk with your cat."
The cat says, "This one is Fane," and just
Well, hello, Fane. You've
Cat
been a
ignores
stranger.
cat ignores him. Continues.
Thump.
As cats do.
Sort of like flicks his tail. Just
Wow, moody. All right. So you're like Lara's Jimmy then, right?
Oh yeah. Speaking of Jimmy,
oh yeah, where's Jimmy been during this?
Jimmy's been in the bar somewhere.
He should have participated in the drinking contest.
Jimmy doesn't have enough gold for high stakes drinking contest.
Oh, I could have probably used my spell to make Jimmy win.
Oh, you're an ass.
That would have been pretty funny.
I made sure to pay for all of his drinks.
Oh, excellent.
Poor Jimmy.
Jimmy's white girl wasted too.
And how many drinks is that? Is he alive?
Like 2.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't hold his liquor well because he has shit constitution. He just has shit everything. Poor guy.
I got him blackout drunk.
He needs it. He needs to forget his life.
It is a pretty good life.
I don't know.
Jimmy
not
had
when
the
you're
most
Jimmy.
fascinating conversation with a big scaly cat. He doesn't know it's a dragon.
Yeah, he's happy. He's happy.
Oh my god.
What else can you
He's
do for him? You can't fix it, so just make him happy.
If Fane just continues to ignore you
Wow.
until I'm gone.
I was sure that would get a response. Okay. Have a good night. Strange cat. Wait, is it a cat? I assume it's a cat.
Yeah,
Strange talking cat. Is it a black cat?
it's a black cat.
Of course, it's a black
Nice.
cat. It's a witch.
Or like, do they have to be black?
No.
It's just a witch stereotype, you know.
Yeah.
Not all.
Well-
Not all.
This black cat has gray stripes, violet eyes, and unusual white blaze on its chest.
Yep, there we go.
So it is literally a black cat. Prince Ruha, you can roll a knowledge planes.
Oh boy, let's see how much of that I have. Let's go through my list, and none. Okay.
You're useless. Oh my god.
He's not the smart kind of caster. He's more of the wing it kind of caster. But I'll just roll a 1d20, and if it comes up a 20, I'll know maybe something. It came up
Nope.
with 3. I think it's a regular cat.
Even though
I
it
guess
came
regular
out of
cats
mist.
can talk.
I mean, the prince doesn't have a very high knowledge nature roll either, so you know.
Well, cats probably aren't local
Wait,
to
he would
Ruha, so...
he would seriously think that it was a regular cat if it could talk and manifested and materialized out of mist?
Oh, well, maybe not, but
I mean, cats are mysterious creatures.
cats.
Yeah, completely defy all science.
Yeah.
There's no
I mean,
science in
Prince
this.
Ruha doesn't
And
understand
logic.
science.
Cats are magic. It's the known fact.
Oh my god.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart?
I'll assume it's just a magic cat, unrelated to, like, it's just a magic cat who you're friends with. It's not a familiar or anything. It's just a cat that happens to be magic.
So, you
Cats can be
guys,
sorcerers, right?
the night passes. Unless any of you are doing anything in particular in the night, you guys go get your prerequisite 2 hours of sleep. Your additional hour of Lalara, like, preparing her spells by, like, playing with her cat. And other spellcasters by, like, meditating or just being reinvigorated. Or praying. And you end up... The sun rises. The inn you're at serves a local breakfast, which seems to be primarily fruit. Taken from the local jungle. Of course, if you have rings of sustenance, you don't actually need to have it.
That's true.
I eat anyway.
Yeah.
And,
I don't want to be rude.
Mosgus passes.
Okay.
Akane's still
Oh
in his
yeah, and
chest
I
plate.
assume your bird has been hospitaling the entire
Yeah, the entire time. Because otherwise it'd be awkward.
Oh, that was awkward. You guys go, after asking probably a few guards, and otherwise just getting slightly lost, you eventually find the Temple of the Forge, which appears... you notice that as you actually... you guys were kind of in the mid-tier of the city, because you guys didn't actually walk in through the gate. So you didn't actually have a good idea of, in the dark, what the city looked like. The city has 3 tiers. The outer tier, each tier has a wall in between it and the next one, and with the first tier to the outside as well. The first tier seems to be like the poorer areas, with a few market districts and the main roads leading out to the city look nice. The second tier, which were smaller, was like temples districts and like where middle to richer class people are, the artisans and the various workshops. And the center tier seems to be comprised of a massive stone step temple with a few floating rocks kind of orbiting. Anyone who looks at it could roll a knowledge history.
Do I have history? Nope.
Nope.
Let me look through my list. Nope. 0. What a coincidence. What an unexpected twist.
Chelsea, Tiamos doesn't know this, but Chelsea has actually studied this because it's part of the study for magical architecture. This is one of the best preserved Monska temples. Now, the Monska were the civilization before the Bay Empire existed. If you look at the timeline of the Empire, the handout section, 4,000 years ago was the end of the Monska. It's supposedly it was the birthplace of mortal magic, and they put a lot of effort into architecture, and the jungles of Rezith are chock-a-block with Monska temples, Monska era temples. You also know that supposedly the spider monkey goblins and the various reptile races were genetically modified by the Monska.
Hmm.
Using terrible magics that have not been well documented. However, that has left both of those races claiming that they're the heirs of the Monska legacy, when other scholarly opinion just says both are slave races. So, now, the temple you're looking at is called the Temple of the Sun, and it is the biggest Monska temple that has been preserved and explored. However, once it was explored, the emperor has sealed off the temple by a few different emperors, like an emperor a few hundred years back, sealed off the inner parts of the temple by decree. And while occasionally people try to go in, it is a high crime.
Oh.
Oh.
Why did they seal it off?
It is the usual modus operandi that when a Monska temple is found, if it's deemed important enough through the preliminary explorations, a sanctified team from the Empire goes in, effectively clears it, like Monska emperors go in, clear it, and then seal it off. You guys aren't really privy to why exactly. But you know it's been commonplace in the Empire for, if a big site of Monska importance is found, for the Emperor to seal it off. But there is a thriving black market for Monska goods. And a lot of them come from the jungles of Wisdom and the islands of Yankton. But no, yeah, you guys find in the second tier the Temple of the Forge. Outside of it are guards wearing the anvil heraldry. They all seem to be wearing some kind of metal armor, though not all of them are in full plate. Do you? I guess there are like I guess a troop of guards in front. One of them seems to have the shiniest armor. Do you just walk by them, or do you like say, "Hey, we have an appointment"? To the fancy
Yeah, I go up to the guard with the shiniest armor, and I say,
What do you look like right now?
I look.
Because I know you've been disguising yourself with your hat.
I feel like I should not disguise myself with these people.
Okay. Also,
mean-
I assume Prince Ruha, you eventually find Jimmy
Yes.
in the morning.
course.
Somehow he ended up in a rat folk nest.
Nice.
Okay then. Let's not ask any questions about that.
No, please, let's.
So he hung over, following you. The guy with the shiniest armor turns to you and says, I am Captain Hang. Who might you be to claim you have an appointment with
I am-
Lady Anne?
I am Tiamos.
He looks you up and down, and then does a subtle motion with his hand. What is your alignment, Tiamos?
Lawful neutral.
Okay. He passes over. Says, "Okay, are those your companions?" He points towards
Yes.
group. Okay, everyone, can you give me a little reminder about what your alignments are?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Um,
I think I'm
am lawful neutral.
uh,
neutral good.
Well, he has to roll a will save or he's going to detect Jimmy again.
I'm neutral good.
Yeah.
Boring.
I'm roll a will save.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Fight. Where is it? Misdirection. 20 versus. Okay. He can see.
He takes a pause at Prince Ruha. He kind of frowns.
Okay, wait. +2 to divination will saves from that. Oh, no, that would be his will save. Yeah, no. This makes sense because I don't get a will save on him seeing my aura. Leave. Right now I've got it categorized as neutral evil, but true neutral in that spectrum.
Okay. He just kind of frowns a bit. You don't have that big an evil aura because unless you're a cleric or have a divine connection to an evil deity, you have to be real powerful to come off as super.
Mhm.
So he kind of just he seems to gather up his guard and says, "We will escort you into the temple
Well, thank you.
No,
this way."
Thank you.
Did we see his frown at Ruhan? Did we notice?
Roll a perception check, or actually probably a sense motive check to understand why he frowned.
I don't really have a good one.
uh,
Okay, Tiamos and Moscas sense that he was doing some kind of detection,
Oh.
Hmm.
and he didn't like what he detected, but not enough to stop the guys. Guys, go into the. You guys pass by a hall that just seems to have a lot of. You see smoke all around the ceiling. It seems to be being drawn up into the ceiling. The temple's hot, and you hear the sounds of blacksmithing tools hitting into metal
Andre.
all around.
They're blacksmiths.
Oh, I might actually have a thing for this. I wish there's easy to check. Ah, to make it more immersive. So you do see various people of various races at the forges. They seem to be making weapons and armor. You're led through the workshop. Actually, yeah, even at one point you actually see a furnace that seems to be using lava.
Hmm.
A forge that seems to be using lava. You get to the inner. You get to a door. There's guards there. Effectively, your situation's explained from your guard to that guard. That guard knocks, talks with another guard inside, and effectively, eventually, there's several doors with guards you have to go through until you finally reach what appears to be a lounge and waiting.
In this game of broken telephone, does anything terrible happen to the message?
Nope.
Okay. That's good.
You guys sit down at you're asked to sit in I guess it's an array of large pillows and cushions, all surrounding a slightly indented pit. With
This feels familiar.
a little bit. And the captain says, Lady Anvil will see you shortly. And kind of marches off. All of his guards are in lockstep. This is a place of order. So, about 10, 15 minutes pass. And you see like a silver-skinned woman walk into the room with full plate on everything but her helmet, which she holds in her arm. She has various anvils embroidered into the full plate. It looks very nice. Very well made, and you can actually tell it's made of adamantine.
That's expensive.
She looks at each one of you, and her eyes linger a bit on Tiamos, and then moves on. She says, I see that Cadalatrix has sent you, and has given you more than possibly I think he should have. He looks at Tiamos. She looks at Tiamos again. You have come down here. Explain.
There's some piece of the regalia of the Phoenix Queen. We're gonna scoop it up, and we thought you might want to keep hold of it.
She seems to sigh. And she says, I know exactly where the regalia of the Phoenix Queen is. And it is in one of the temples it is my charge to protect. Unfortunately, she says, I might still need your help.
Well, that's convenient for us.
It is. It's almost like it's an adventure.
Because they're like, oh yeah, I'm holding it right now. We got it. Thanks for coming though.
We'll have to make the
Bye.
trouble, then we'll have to help with the trouble.
You know, we're gonna steal it and give it to someone else, and then we're gonna help take it back for them.
She says, the temple complex that it is at happens to be where the two warring a large confederation of tribes, are going to be having their petty turf war, uncaring of the various temples that and sacred places they disrupt in their fight against the Empire and each other. I was going to send a mercenary group to help repair the temple from damage it has suffered and damage it will suffer when battles rage around. She takes a look at you and her eyes go to Tiamos again, and then she puts her free hand on her face and like rubs her eyes a bit. She goes, you should know this before you go in. The part of the regalia is the orb. And the orb is being used to empower the ley lines of the area as a way of trying to drain out its divine power. We need to repair the temple so that we can continue to drain it in the hopes that one day it will be weak enough to be destroyed.
Ah.
That's clever.
Is there no faster way to do it?
She said, breaking the thing open is exactly the last thing we want to have happen. She looks at you and she says, I don't think you understand exactly what the orb is.
You would be right.
Let me put it to you very simply. The orb is not an orb, it is an egg.
Mhm.
And inside this egg is one of the most terrifying and remorseless divine beings to exist upon this mortal realm. The phoenix lies within the egg. And the followers of the phoenix have been, over my charge over the south, relentless in trying to get this. Because that is their god. He says, that is the seeping of its divine power into the fabric of the world, empowers their priests. Their belief in it gives them strength. That thing is beyond dangerous. And we have been trying for many years to weaken its grasp on the world so that we can finally toss it somewhere. But the moment if someone actually cracks that egg, the phoenix shall be reborn upon this world, and it will be very unpleasant forever. So,
Who put it in the egg in the first place?
she sighs.
That's a good question.
And she says, in the twilight of the Monska, the Monska did. And the egg was almost reborn, actually was partially reborn, partially cracked, during the reign of the Phoenix Queen. The four pillars at the time stopped it.
Stopped it from just being... Couldn't you just throw it on the floor? I don't see how it's a long process that needs to be easily stopped.
It had created an avatar. He put it down. But the problem with phoenixes, it says, is that they keep on getting reborn.
Yeah, I hear that about them.
She sort of looks at all, kind of, she sighs again.
All right, let's go to this temple, do our...
And she says, the group that I will send with you, I imagine you do not have the tools and expertise to repair Monska temples. So I will be sending you will be the escorts for a group that does.
Okay.
The group that does is the Bow Corporation. It's a rat folk and his awakened dog. They control a golem construction force. They also happen to be one of the few experts that we have on Monska architecture. and warded design. I will be involved in stopping the war from reaching the temple. And also, I know that if I go inside, I might disrupt the wards more than they've already been disrupted. She says, "The pillars, it is hard sometimes to direct. But
All right.
let me be clear. If any of you try to take that egg and move it, disrupt it, crack it, I will find a way of making you regret it."
I mean, it sounds like we would regret it anyways. Is
Oh,
there an
yes,
advantage
but-
to waking up the Phoenix that I'm not hearing? If
Uh,
there was a pitch for that, this would be the time, but...
She just stares you down.
Oh, relax. Only
You
a
know
joke.
that Cadalatrix described her as having an adamantine rod shoved so far up her ass that it colored her scales. And you're beginning.
So when we escort this group, if we are accosted by the Grilla and the Nasa, how should we deal with them? Is our goal to stop the conflict, or is our goal to get rid of one of the groups?
The goal is to protect the egg. The petty tribal wars around don't actually matter. Deal with them how you see fit. The orb is the most important thing within 100 miles of that town. If they start trying to come into the temple, dissuade them. If they start trying to interfere with the warding, dissuade them harder. If you see any other group inside that temple, please also dissuade them.
Can't we just get them to fight each other somewhere else? Like,
Well, they're
put
fighting
up
over
a
their
wall or
lands,
something?
right?
I mean, yeah, but we just need to get them to go like 100 meters west of the temple and we're good.
It is possible, but the temple is also a nexus of magical energy, and that draws these tribes, as their various rituals
Oh, they actually
can
want
be
the...
fun.
They want to capture the temple. Both of them. Okay.
Well, they want to be close enough to draw power off the temple.
All right.
The temple is constantly bleeding power because it is constantly siphoning power from the orb.
Is that a problem? Or could we just get one of these groups, cement them around the temple, and have them protect it for us?
They would eventually try to pull too much at once, or just disrupt the warding too much, and then
Can't trust them.
if you let any particular tribe near a phoenix artifact for too long, they will be corrupted in some way.
All right.
I've
Simple
tried
enough.
this before.
Okay, then.
No skin off my back.
There's a reason why there are no more frog people.
Wait, they were
So-
frog people?
Rest in peace, frog.
Several hundred years ago, there were a tribe of frog people in the southeast of the jungles. They only exist in the northeast. So
Okay.
So how many golems are there?
it's a team of 4. but they're specially crafted golems.
Oh.
They're ludicrously expensive to make, but they also repair and construct things at a mind-boggling pace.
Sounds good.
They're specialists.
Can you pick up those golems? Or can Akane pick up those golems?
Depends on how much they weigh.
You will meet Ni Bao, or Ni Mu, the rat folk, at the entrance to the temple.
Oh, he's already there.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
He
Makes it easier.
was summoned to make this easy.
Oh, then we can probably scry on him and teleport right to him.
Oh yeah.
If we send
Oh,
him a message first.
I
then we're
mean, she says outside of this temple,
gonna- Oh.
the temple of forging.
All right.
You'll have to make your way towards the temple. Yes. She just sort of says that the temple's the temple of the.
All right. Any other last minute words of kindness from you? You've been so.
She goes. I can see why Cadalatrix liked you. That is not a compliment.
Just what I was hoping for.
She says, "If you do this successfully, I promise you a scale." She looks at Tiamos and she says, "I understand that you have been given knowledge that should have best remained sealed, but I also understand that you're fundamentally mercenaries. Would not. I will pay what is due. You will have a scale."
All right.
Thank you.
She says, "Go," and she turns around and marches right out.
Oh, I like her.
Oh yeah.
No nonsense. No fucks
I
given.
like her.
I like everyone.
You guys are eventually escorted back out, and you see a ratman. So he's like 3.5 tall. A dog who's taller than him, and 4 golems. 2 of them seem to be they all the golems are like around 10 feet tall. Each have 2 powerful arms that seem to have, I guess, yeah, they are hands. They seem to be made of stone, but other 2 of them appear to be where the golem's chest and head is currently open, and you can see on the inside what appears to be some kind of harness. It's a bit odd. You can roll knowledge arcana or spellcraft to try to understand what this is.
Oh, I have that one.
Ah, well, I
Not
hope
much
so.
of it. Not much of it, but I do have it.
Chelsea,
Oh, yeah.
roll. Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm here.
Liara's hungover.
Lolara? Not Liara. Liara's
Lolara.
like Mass Effect.
Well, whichever then.
Okay.
Whichever-
So,
what was the base
knowledge
criteria?
arcana or spellcraft?
I did that. I got 28.
Okay, you did.
So you did.
So these, so a 25 and 20 golems that are meant to be suits of armor. Well,
Ooh.
two of them are. They seem the dog and the rat will go into the golem and be protected inside the golem
Oh, that's neat.
while they direct
So they're sort of
Cool.
like robots,
it. They're kind of like almost like
mechs.
They're
power
Gundams.
suits. They're the equivalent. They're a little bit of the equivalent.
How heavy are these things?
Let's that's
It would be awesome if we could just fly.
Wasn't expecting to have to carry giant rock things. Large rock things, not giant. They're 10 feet
3,000 pounds
total
each.
each. Let's see.
Can't your bird carry like 25,000 pounds?
Without buffs, a heavy load would be 19,000 pounds. So
No problem then.
Actually, a medium load is 12,800, so it kind of could carry everything medium load. Plus us.
That's dumb.
It's dumb.
I'm gonna go get myself a cider. This might be a good drink washroom break,
Good idea.
and then we'll actually go on to the adventure, not just the setup.
Unfortunately, I can't move because my cat just settled in.
Sucks.
You have cat. You cannot move.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family and I use that term, you have cat or I have cat. And that means that the person that has cat cannot move and that we have to do anything they need for them. So
Yeah. The cats, they definitely take precedent.
Howdy.
Hey,
Okay.
Ian, Did I tell
Mhm.
you that I almost threw a like super perfect game?
Really? No, you
Yeah.
haven't.
73 points.
73 points.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Right?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I'm thinking for my birthday,
You want to
Throwing.
do some axe throwing?
but I'll sit out of the.
The
Yes.
final?
I'll make Chelsea do the same.
Good.
So
Because it would be super unfair. Now you're throwing perfect games.
Clutch with big axe is my favorite thing to do.
How dare you? You're so good at something you enjoy. So, P.S., you've been going to this weekly for what, like 4 months, 6 months, more?
A year in January now. Because,
Because
yeah,
oh,
they
because
invited me to go after no.
after I did one. They're like, oh, I like this. And they're like, oh, I'll actually join their tournament. Dun, dun, dun.
Are you gonna do NaNoWriMo this year?
I don't think so. Would think effectively. I actually have to write probably about 2,000 words in notes for this next arc.
Uh-huh.
I think if I'm going to be running D&D, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Well, I want,
This
don't want
this
to.
campaign is your novel.
Well, he has a project that he's working on, and it's like I'm excited for it. Make him do it, but
Well, it's because I was going to write the another campaign that I had done in London, England, and no, it's still a fun story, but like I'm in the middle of running 2 different massive campaigns, and eventually when it starts up again, I have a Star Wars campaign spanning episode 1 to episode 6.
oh my god.
They're currently at episode. They're before episode 2. There's so much time skip that happens between episode 1 and 2, and the Star Wars Clone War makes no fucking sense. Let me tell you, the numbers don't pan out.
Yeah.
Okay, because by canon, there's only 3 million clone troopers. Canada, at the height of World War II, had probably more than 3 million troops. You don't conquer the galaxy with World War II Canadian level troops.
But they have so many. They're so good at their jobs.
Yeah, so in the
They're
Clone
not
Wars,
really
I'm
that
gonna
good at
be
their
doing-
job.
I'm back.
Yeah, in the
Welcome
Clone
back.
Wars, I'm
Thank you.
going to be doing. It's going to.
Hi.
There's going to be at least 300 million clones.
Sounds a bit more accurate, but with exponential growth, like the population, is there just a population in Star Wars? Do they ever give us that? Because by
I don't know.
exponential growth, it's got to be a lot of dudes.
But at least with 300 million, I can justify them having a limited number of troops and them being like elite troops, and them like with space support being able to conquer planets.
Mhm.
Is it appears like conquering planets in Star Wars is relatively easy as long as you conquer all major cities,
Yeah.
and you have
And there's usually only one major city.
yeah, actually.
I just imagine like World War II style holdouts. Like those would be so easy on an entire planet where there's one city. Like you will never get all the guerrilla faction out of there, and they will just keep on just messing with you forever.
Do you know why they created the Death Star?
Well, I guess
So they
that's
could
why.
finally deal with fucking guerrillas on planets they didn't care about. Yeah, if they're like, that planet, boom, gone. Fuck you. We won't deal with the guerrillas anymore.
Yeah, wasn't that literally stop resisting or this will keep happening?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they created that weapon to discourage rebellion.
And then they did it
that
again.
really didn't work out for them.
Well, that's
I'm not
because it got
saying
blown
they're
up.
intelligent.
It got blown up, that's why it didn't work out. But if it hadn't gotten blown up, it probably would have worked.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really know what the Emperor's bad thing was if they got into power. Like, they weren't holocausting anyone, is what I'm saying. Like, it would have probably been fine if either side had won.
You never know.
You never know.
I mean, they're
the
evil, so I mean, who knows what they'd be like,
Yeah.
ban McDonald's.
Yeah,
People are like,
shit.
what the fuck?
Actually, one of my professors was telling me that in his like English 101 classes, he has his students argue that write papers about how Luke Skywalker is actually a domestic terrorist because he blows up the Death Star and kills literally 1 million people who are working inside there.
I mean, we have an entire subreddit for that now, where it's just reddit.com/r/the Empire did nothing wrong.
Okay, I was gonna say the arson one seems like a lot of things could go in there.
Yeah, no, sorry.
All right, Lawrence, back.
/r/
Let's,
is hard to pronounce.
we don't have a ton of time left, so I don't want to.
Okay, so is everyone back?
Yes.
I see Lauren's back.
Yep.
Okay, we're all back. So let me actually take you on a magical journey. Literally magical.
Flying birds. I'm assuming the golems are just hanging on to its feet.
Oh yeah. So actually, just before we go on this magical journey, but I will throw you into the new mapping.
Oh, those golems are hard to see.
Yay!
Yeah, they're kind of hard to see.
That's okay. I like how you attached a dog and a guy to one of them to show which ones are.
Yeah, it's important. So you meet the rat guy, the rat folk, and he says, "You my bodyguards?
Sure are.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm Ninu, the most intelligent, wonderful, magical architect you'll see this side of the Imperial capital. These are my golems, and this is my best friend, Bow Bow." The dog says, "Hello."
Moscas
And
taps.
now it's at this point.
Wow. A talking dog.
It's at this point that the prince would assume that most domestic animals could talk. Given-
It just adds up.
Never having a domestic animal that wasn't intelligent before.
Mhm. I mean, in his rich upbringing, why would they have a regular cat walking around?
Fair.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Mm-hmm. No needs it.
So he says, "I'm the brains. Bow Bow is also kind of brainy, but he's also a bit brawny." Bow Bow, say hello to your friends. He's like, I did. It's like, yes, you did. Who are you? He kind of jangles his hand towards you. Says, I see at least, the closer I look at it, the more star-studded your cast becomes.
The prince
I see
says,
at
I'm the
least-
brains, and points to Lalara, and she's the brains, and points to Mozgus a bit, and he's also kind of the brains, but with a bit of the brawn. Points to the bird. That's most of the
No,
brawn.
no, the bird doesn't.
actually,
The bird's
bird
not
is
there.
currently hostile.
But then Moscus
okay.
taps his chest, and then Akane just kind of pops out next to everyone. She is the brawn.
The bird is most of the brawn. Tiamos, okay, one moment. Shakti and Saruman are the rest of the brawn, and this is Jimmy.
He's none
And
of those
Jimmy
things.
kind of gives a wave. And he says, I'm seeing the use for pretty much all of you. What is his? He points towards Jimmy.
He's a test
Moral
subject.
Moral support.
Ah! I didn't think you'd take Trap Monkey so literally. Or I thought you might take it more literally. You have magic. Kind of shrugs. Regardless, I am the founder, co-founder, and so is Bao Bao. He pats Bao Bao on the head. Bao Bao says thanks. We go around temples, usually at the Order of the Anvil, because they're the ones who are most interested in preserving temples, strangely enough. And we spruce them up a bit. This one's going to be our biggest job yet, and usually the golems, he points towards them, are enough to protect me, but if she thinks I need you and all of your shininess, this might be the most exciting job yet.
I like his spirit.
My golems can usually handle themselves in a fight, but if the job is as big as she says it's going to be, where I'm going to be mostly busy, preventing the whole place from collapsing and the ley lines from releasing all that energy and flattening a few miles around. He pulls out a cracker and starts nibbling.
Yeah. You fix the temple, we'll keep you safe.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You see, I hate insects. And I don't know why I'm here in the jungle, but it turns out that that's where I get most of my employment, so I'm here. But I built this golem suit, so I don't actually need to be near insects. It also has an inbuilt insect repellent.
Oh. Oh, nice.
Only affects like a small radius around me. Very expensive, but
Wow,
better than a flea collar. He points
my-
towards.
my vermin repellent wasn't that much.
Oh no, this is magical.
Oh, I see.
It stops also the big vermin. Like the real big vermin. But not always. Sometimes they're angry enough to punch through. I've lost a golem to that. Regardless, let us not focus on failure. He looks at your big bird. That's a big bird. How much can it move?
I haven't seen it falter. I haven't seen her falter yet.
What question?
We could pick up the temple and move it somewhere else if it wasn't so delicate.
Hmm.
Here's an idea. Let's take the temple and push it somewhere else.
If we need the temple 10 feet over, we can do it.
How much can it move? Delightful.
I mean,
He
it can
starts
move.
saying, okay. One moment. He pulls out what appears to be like a notebook, flips through, and starts furiously writing things down. About 30 seconds later, he says, so Snake, meta-wise, how much is the maximum drag load?
Drag.
Currently, it's 96,000, but if she's being boosted,
Didn't I make you something?
yes, you did.
Was I supposed to roll for that or what?
Probably.
You can roll a spellcraft check.
But if she's being boosted, it's 1,000,000. Yeah, it's £1,000,000.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
So that's rage plus the collar.
I got
He
a
points out, and he says, by my not so insignificant calculations, I think it's about 96,000 pounds. Ha! That thing could eventually move a temple.
For a few minutes, anyway.
Oh, wait, can you make it bigger? He says.
Oh, yes.
Oh, fuck. He just crosses out his calculation. He says, how much bigger?
I think I only did it once. I think she was about double size.
Double size, gee. By the gods. He just starts. And he says, fuck it, it can do it. So,
Do we need to move the temple? I thought we were just hauling some.
If we
Oh,
move
no,
the temple,
no.
it'll just... No.
we don't want to move the temple. Ley lines, geomantic web,
Oh,
it would be terrible.
but we could
Like,
take another
boom,
temple,
boom,
move it
everyone
over
dies,
there.
kinda terrible.
We could take another temple, move it nearby, and they'd be confused as to which temple to go to. I like your style.
I think if you do that, I think Lady Anvil there would make you cease to exist.
Yeah.
That seems like something to do.
Honestly, I'm not sure I'm not sure I can do anything at this point. They cannot hate me, so don't worry about it.
He smiles and he says, I heard a rumor. She likes your type.
Oh, jeez.
But that's also baseless rumor. Please don't do it. I want you alive to protect me. Okay. He says, if that thing can lift what I think it can lift, we don't need to go on the jungle-infested road. Fantastic. This can be quick. He says, the only problem, how much harness do you have there?
A few hundred feet of rope. We could get more.
Oh! It just starts laughing when you say a few hundred feet. He pulls out a robe. It seems to be made of rope.
Wow.
A
He says-
pimp or something. Rope is made
Yeah.
of rope.
No, it's a robe made of rope.
Oh, a robe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he just starts pulling at it. And pulling at it.
Echoing.
Every round, 100 feet of rope comes out.
Wow.
He starts pulling. He keeps pulling. The rope seems to not ever decrease. He says, robe of infinite twine. With enough of this, we can, as he just keeps pulling. And then gets his dog to pull when his arms get tired. Says, with enough of this, we can strap the golems onto... Well, we can strap 2 of the golems onto your bird, and then have those 2 golems hold the other golems.
Sure.
And then the rest of you can, I don't know, be on the various pouches. I don't know. No.
There's enough room on top.
Question. I'm trying to figure out the various apparatus. Does your bird shit?
I mean, yes. Occasionally. Not very often.
Gonna have to change my harness design. I'm not used to working with living creatures other than my beloved Bao Bao. And Bao Bao says, I love you too.
I hid in your golem because I love you.
And then I shot in it.
You see, I actually paid someone to awaken Bao Bao because Bao Bao's the only one who doesn't look down on me. We're at the same eye level.
Thought he was taller than him.
He is, but Ninu seems to be oblivious to that fact. Maybe there was at one point where the dog and him were at equal levels, but not anymore. He says, okay, if the harness design, he points towards Tiamos. You look strong. Keep on pulling the twine. Throws the rope towards you. As he starts taking the
pull.
rope that already exists, says, I'm just wondering, can you actually talk with your bird?
Yeah, she understands speech.
Can you tell her not to eat?
She understands for now.
That is distinctly uncomforting.
She does eat a lot when she's hungry.
Except meta-wise, she doesn't actually eat much because she has a ring of
Oh,
sesame.
but when she actually needs to eat, she does eat a lot.
Oh, yeah. He says, well, let's hope that the flora and fauna of the day will be more tasty than my beautiful flesh.
She usually eats meat, not veggies, but yes.
Sometimes I forget about birds.
She's a predator.
He starts like, he effectively, he starts directing you guys towards helping make the harness. Lalora,
Hmm.
you actually can see his design. You can roll knowledge engineering if you have it.
I might. No, I have sculpture and armor and
Well, then you can do. Then you
it's
can roll
craft.
craft. You can roll craft armor. Yes, it's effectively you're covering the bird in giant things of twine.
Okay.
You point to something he can improve. He goes, oh, by the gods, I didn't think about that. Okay, thanks, Silver Lady. Wait, he says, you're not Lady Anvo, are you?
Not to my knowledge.
Says good. It's so hard telling silver people apart.
I completely understand.
I mean,
It's very
people have
hard to
trouble-
tell rat people apart. This is a rat guy, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not. You can't say that.
Not to be racist.
Not to be racist, but you rat people all look the same.
Wow.
Wow. So he says, I get that often, you know. People can only really tell me by my neuroses and the fact that I keep on mentioning golems. Just
Well, I like you for your neuroses, so you stand
Wait,
apart.
was this the rat from the bar?
It was.
yep.
Yup.
Okay.
Wait.
The rat that got thrown out, basically.
Oh,
The same
I forgot
rat.
because I was drinking.
We see that you're popular with your friends.
Oh. Wait, you guys were at the bar last night. Yeah. Those monkey poo slingers. Yeah, they're gonna get what they deserve one day. One day I'll have my golem army again.
Again.
Ah, God.
Roll knowledge local, I guess it would be, or knowledge no build. Yeah.
Knowledge,
No.
very, very recent history. Hopefully.
Oh
recent-
no, there's something. This is something.
Knowledge.
Tiamos and Chelsea.
Yeah, no, Billy.
You vaguely recalling hearing several years ago, down in the jungles of Resith, Saruman also knows, there was an altercation between the Empire and a golem army, And the last you heard, the Golem Army creator was inducted into the Emperor's service because he was useful. That was about 10 years ago.
Oh, that army. That was yours.
He says, "Oh, I'm still remembered even in the fancy dancy capital." I
Your
gave up a
army's
good fight.
remembered.
And then the Emperor's peace came upon me, and I'm now a reformed citizen. Thank you very much. Says, doing more of the rope harness.
Ah,
My
well, we are all
Golem army
grateful.
shall never again be aimed at the current Emperor.
Well, that's good.
I can't promise for future emperors. My Gios might be different.
Ah, that's why.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about. He throws and think about how I'm not going to use a golden arm. He climbs up the bird, attaches more of a harness, goes back down. Says, "This adventuring thing is ready to get more money to build a greater construction force, to do more stuff. Eventually, I might even be inducted into the infrastructure court. Exciting stuff. I love dams." So the golems all get strapped in. Do you guys have anything you want to ask our little neurotic Nino?
How long will it take him to? Well, I guess we'll have to see the state of the temple first.
Oh yeah, never give an estimate without first looking.
Let's go take a look.
Yeah, let's go take a look. I know where it is. It might be hard to see aerially until we get close. The whole thing's shrouded in mist. But then when you break through it, it looks like it's probably going to look like a sunny day. The Monska temples are weird, my friends. They have protective mists that supposedly stop demons or something. I was never affected, so I never gave a damn. He takes a swig of a hip flask. He says his nerves seem to calm. Well, let's get on your bird.
Let's do it.
Woot woot. So, what is the speed of your medium-loaded bird?
At medium load. Let's see. Well, maybe if I make my bird medium load, it will tell me. I have no idea. What does medium load do for speed?
Okay.
If anything.
Flying Pathfinder. I just want to see if...
I feel like it should probably move the same. I mean, heavy load reduces... Does medium load reduce movement speed?
Pathfinder... Carrying capacity... Medium. Oh, medium load does in fact reduce your speed.
Okay, then
So
right
your
now,
speed is normally 80?
Yeah.
It's now 60.
that's fine.
But that also means that effectively, so it's 300 miles from Hiksu to the Temple of the Orc. And normally you can go like 100 miles a day. You can go like 8. So that is effectively 3.5 days of flying on.
Okay, unless we have any better ideas.
Because you definitely can't teleport all of you and the golems. You can't teleport the golems.
Yeah, that works for me.
No, that,
Cool.
And the golems can
I
protect
could-
us at night, I suppose. So
So I guess every night you sit down somewhere.
yeah, maybe up in the canopy, if possible. Depends on how
The
big these
canopy
trees
is
are.
not going to. Yeah, but the trees aren't heavy enough to support 12 tons.
Gotcha.
Aren't big enough. You guys go. Actually, when you land, or like when you're thinking of landing the first night, Nino points towards a rocky outcropping. The land you're flying over is. Maybe it would be best if I just put a picture into the. Well, first, actually. Into ambient noise, not copyright. So this is like. You know what? Just open images tab. It is rainfall. It is jungle. There is green almost everywhere. Wherever you see a river, it's brown from all of the silt and whatnot it's bringing from the rainforest down. You see the occasional hill or mountain. Let me see if there's like other images. But yeah, it's just a sea of green. It's also a different type of green than people who were born in the forests of Roll20 are used to. There seems to be constant noise, and even if you're flying above, you actually see like trees shift and move as evidently big predators roam through. You guys see like a rocky outcropping that's bare from most jungle debris. And Ninu says, "Sit down there. I can make some fortifications before we sleep for the night."
Sounds good.
As you set the golems down, he just says, I guess we can undo the harness and redo the harness in the morning to make your bird like more comfortable. I'm not used to animal comfort as one of my top priorities, except for Bao Bao.
Yeah, she'll need to not be
It's like,
strapped
I
to
will.
large pieces of rock for the night.
Okay, so you guys collectively unbind the golems. Actually, you probably just cut it because it's infinite twine, and you throw the rope down into the board. It's magic, and you guys also don't care about Rob.
It's biodegradable, whatever that means.
And immediately you see Nino and Bao Bao jump into their, I guess, their cockpits, as it were. The golem armor like closes in. The helmet flips, the head flips up, and they get sealed in. And then you hear kind of a tinny voice, "Okay!" And he just starts barking numbers, a seemingly random jumble of letters, numbers, like exclamation marks, sounds. And the golems start going towards like the edge of this rocky outcropping, and they move their hands down, and slowly but surely walls start to rise from the edges of the outcropping until eventually it starts forming into a dome, leaving little, I guess, openings so that light and you guys can see out. And then like a fire pit, like a pit starts forming in the middle, a shallow pit. And he says, how many beds do you want? He's tapping his, you can hear him like his golem tapping his golem's leg with his hands.
6? 6 of 7 for you.
True enough. And out of the ground in the walls, like 7 kind of beds rise. It's still stone.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
And it seems like with 4 golem, it seems like you guys who are spellcasters realize that each golem is using stone shape, and it seems to have access to stone shape at will. You can see how that's useful in repairing stone temples. And he says, I created 4 openings, and I'm putting my 4 golems at each to try to limit the insect interference. Also, I put a small opening at the top just to make sure we all don't die of carbon monoxide.
This guy thinks of everything.
I have to. It's hard to sleep otherwise. I am going to sleep. But the armor like peels back and he comes out of it. Bao Bao's also does. He goes to one of the beds. He throws out his bedroll. He like gets into it. Bao Bao lies next to him. He puts the bedroll, like the blanket over both, and he just like falls immediately to sleep.
Akane and I will sleep first, and then we'll take the rest of the night.
Akane just finds like, I guess,
A corner.
a corner and just kind of. Do you actually sleep like on Akane?
No.
Or
no.
like wrapped in Akane's wing?
No, she sleeps on her own.
So she just kind of goes into a corner and kind of
Just nestles in.
Scrunches
Does the
down.
whole
Yeah,
bird
nestles.
nesting routine.
Yeah. The nights, the sounds never stop. There's always life is everywhere. I guess you guys sleep in your little dome. Not other than somehow insects still finding their way in. During the night. I need everyone to roll a 1d6.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's either really good or really bad. For me and
Oh, no.
Prince What one of us is fucked.
Chelsea,
Oh no, it's Chelsea.
roll a fort save. A fortitude save. Okay. Let's see.
So when you have the Night's Watch, are you like swatting at flies the whole night?
If there's that
Like,
many, probably.
One's in the tent. One's in the tent. I'm gonna get it. Just gently lance it.
I was actually thinking about that. Would he be good enough with his lance to hit flies reliably and not like?
You in fact stave against this particular disease.
Oh,
Or
with a
fine.
12. Must have been a
It
really
was
nasty disease.
It is.
Yeah.
Strength and con damage.
The lower the save, the worse it is.
Your character feels a little bit sick when waking up, but by the time like by the time everyone's getting ready, you've gotten over whatever it was. All of you notice that you have some bug bites on.
Yeah.
You guys continue on, and effectively, this is a routine that you find some rocky outcropping above the rest of the jungle, and Ninu creates a temporary shelter, and then in the morning, has his golems just kind of break it down, so it's kind of like it was. It seems like he has a natural instinct to try to cover his tracks.
The army.
But on the morning of the third day, Ninu says, "We're approaching the temple. Because we're going to be coming in from above. You're going to see almost a sphere of fog. At the center of the sphere of fog is going to be the temple." He looks at all of you and he says, "Does anyone have demon blood somewhere in your ancestry?"
No.
Gotta roll spellcraft to see if a fiend is a demon. Therefore, I don't think a Rakasha's a demon.
Amarkash is
That
totally a
isn't-
demon.
Well, I'm gonna roll my spellcraft and we'll find out. Or
I'm pretty sure Amarkash is a demon, though. Meta-wise.
okay. What should I roll?
Is this
That is a
demon or
knowledge
is it outsider?
It says, "I actually am forgetting if it's like specifically demons or just like outsiders."
Let's see if my knowledge of the plane extends to that specific, kind of important to the animal. Jimmy the Mook knows. Whoops, wrong thing. That's my roll
That's
anyways.
fine. He goes, your character doesn't believe that you don't have demonic ancestry. Rakashas aren't demons.
Yeah, of course.
They're
Not.
just evil outsiders.
Yeah. And what's the consequence? Like,
Just saying that the mist, I think it stops demons from going in, or if they're already in, it stops them from going out. But you'll know the moment we hit the mist. If one of you just flies off the bird and starts falling to your death, one of you had too much blood.
well, okay then. Can we go over the mist or something?
Oh, it's a sphere. Most
Okay.
demons can fly.
I like this guy's explanation so well. He's just. I need the entire
I like the
Pathfinder
voice.
explanation done by this voice.
I can
As a
get behind
mist,
that.
I can deal with it with the breeze spell. Kind of.
And it goes, but the mist is kind of thin. Ish. But if none of you are like demons in disguise, please don't be, not this time.
Wait, not this time?
I want to know what happened.
It was a botched job when I was constructing my first demon army. That's why I know that Moksha temples don't like demons. Because I started trying to go through the mist, and one of the people in the party mysteriously started, convulsing and dying. But we thought that it was just like a disease, but it turns out when they melted into a pool of black ichor, we're pretty sure that's a demon.
I've been body slammed off of the back of this bird. It must have been a disease. I got malaria.
Yeah, that's malaria.
We tried to walk in with that.
Okay.
I assume that these temples are designed to be a big fuck you to certain types of outsiders who want to take them, control them.
Meta-wise, meta-wise, the prince has spent quite a bit of time in a monk's rune, so he knows he's pretty sure he's fine just on that idea. And there's going to be no further explanation to what that means.
So, let's go. You see? He just like starts gnawing a bit on a nail. But if we come down from the top, we aren't going to have to deal with too many of the problems. But the temples are built solidly. Usually on the top, you have to come in one of the gates.
Mhm.
They don't like people trying to burrow through. And if I try to burrow through with my golems, the temple reacts badly.
Makes sense.
We have to go through one of the entrances it's supposed to, especially if the ley line energies of this one are what I'm kind of reading with the divination spell I did last night. This is a motherload. I don't know how it's so powerful. But regardless, then we'll find the source of its power as we dig through and like repair it, right? Yeah, it's be fine.
Yeah.
What kind of golem could I make with that?
You're not allowed to steal
I-
anything from this temple.
Oh yeah, no. I just want to see what it is to try to see if I can recreate it safely somewhere.
You can't.
Yeah,
How
I
do
wouldn't
you know?
try.
No, we'd
Well,
be
we got
forced.
the briefing.
Yeah, we'd be forced to kill you if you tried.
Ah,
Or rather the-
jeez.
And not like the... Only if that dragon lady doesn't kill you first somehow.
That's true. She might just know
She
somehow.
gets... She's really upset about something
this
here.
is like you guys don't want to do it because the dragon told you that she's gonna kill you. That's that level of oh shit. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Curiosity killed. He puts a big X in front of him with his arms.
No, I thought he was jotting it down on a piece of paper. Like, oh, these guys
Oh
don't
yeah.
talk anymore.
He pulls out a piece of paper and says, "Don't be curious."
In case he forgets.
Yes. Well, let's strap back in.
Okay.
You guys strap in and fly through the mist. The prince feels kind of uncomfortable, but
I
it
can't
wasn't.
imagine
Isn't
why.
ejected from the bird.
Well, that's good.
We'd have to do a really good fly check to catch you. What was a golem strapped to the fucking?
Well, that's why Featherfall.
Oh,
For
good.
this exact situation. He was like, should I learn Featherfall? What if I get ejected off of a bird? Gonna need it.
You guys, he points you down to near an entrance, and thus you land like at the bottom map you're currently at. Says, ahead. He starts cutting off the ropes. Says, a little help cutting the ropes. We don't need the ropes right now. He points towards the big pile of rubble leading into the temple. He says, that is a fallen gate. That's a lot more damage than I thought it would be. Whoa, what the hell's been happening here?
Tribals.
Shit.
It just seemed
Who
a lot
knows
for
what
tribals.
kooky things they've come up with?
Seems excessive though. Like, why would they destroy the gate like that?
There could have been a localized earthquake. It could be whatever power sources inside could be unstable, and thus sending out vibrations at the temple. There could also be like a big monster, something that hates temple gates. Oh yeah, we're pretty deep in the jungle here. It could be a real big monster, he says.
Well, I hope that's all it is.
Yeah, I hope it's not another adventure group. That would suck. He is like, my golems are meant for building, not, I would say loving, but mostly building, not fighting.
Failed experiment.
Oh, I'm not allowed to create pure combat golems as per the EOS.
Ah.
Thus, I have to hide violence-inducing measures in nice other things. Like, did you know that the power to lift and crush giant blocks of stone can also just be used against people? Yeah, fleshy bits are vulnerable to crush.
Good to know.
Oh yes,
Oh,
I'm glad to educate.
the prince writes that down.
So we can probably lift us all up past that gate then and land in the courtyard.
Oh no, when I say gate, I mean it's like the entrance to the.
Oh,
main
okay.
How quickly can you rebuild this?
He says, probably a couple minutes.
Well, okay, I gotta see this.
Wow.
He starts going forward, and he's like, "If we don't get any interference, that is, come
Oh,
quickly."
well.
I guess
Alright.
Mazgas
So-
and Akane will go up a bit just to see if there's anything nearby.
Roll perception checks. Actually, move to where you're going to be in perception check.
I'll let you move me because it's just easier.
Is the prince suffering any debuffs from the mist?
No, it's just it kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of well, okay. Actually, for everyone who's here,
Mm-hmm.
it is like 32 degrees and 90. Sorry, it is for fucking freedom units for everyone else. It's like 90, mid 90 degrees and like 90% humidity.
Oh God, that's
It is a
Laura hates it.
swamp.
Well, Laura hates it.
Like
the heat is
you
fine, but that
guys
humidity.
you guys have been flying above most of it, but the moment you entered the mist, it's warm. And you guys are just by walking drenched in sweat.
Nice.
Using the spell breeze and prestidigitation, whatever. I'm never going to pronounce it right. Just give up. I'm just going to try and stay fresh through the heat.
You hear Ninu go. Yeah, I've been working in these jungles. Inside of this is cool.
You know what this guy reminds me of?
What?
He reminds me of old Greg. Have you guys seen old Greg?
I have.
What you doing in my waters? That's exactly him. I finally have a reason to
Oh
show you
God,
guys.
now I
old
remember
Greg.
old Greg. You showed me that. You showed me that like 3 years ago. Oh
Old
my
Greg.
God.
Creamy.
Jesus
Creamy
Christ.
beige.
Bailey's, yeah.
This is as close as you could get to Bailey's without your eyes getting wet.
It's so fucking
Uh,
stupid.
Mozgus,
Yes.
your character in your supreme perception notices that there's currently movement in the pools to the side.
Oh, that's water.
Yeah, those are like pools of water.
Okay. Is this green stuff water?
No, that's just like
Oh,
that's
okay.
undergrowth.
I see. I see.
Because I didn't actually want to find like bushes to paste it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say that brown is dirt and costs normal movement. Green is heavy underbrush, and because none of you are druids or rangers, fuck you, it costs double movement.
All right.
So
To
try
go
not
through-
to stray off the path then.
Yeah. You do notice that there's movement, but you don't know if that's monsters, just normal creatures, or something worse.
Mazgus focuses on the left one first, and pays more attention and kind of gestures for the group in both directions, but he's just like turns Akane and hovers there for a moment to focus.
So Jimmy's gonna be next to all the golems.
Yeah,
Safest place.
before a mosquito kills him.
Okay, so it is 10:10.
Can we? Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Okay.
that before the gate building happens, this week I will end with the tension building of something has been spotted in the pools.
Okay.
Hmm.
I hope I understand this was another talkie session,
It was good.
but
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
good.
it was good.
Goodbye, stream.